Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United have knocked out La Liga's best side as the Premier League smashes them into the ground. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to go into all that sort of stuff. There's no need for any of that. Although, can we play you every week? Can we play you every week? Easy, easy. I'm joking. It's called winning. It's called enjoying it. It was across 2 games, it was bloody entertaining. It was tense. I've not felt like that about United for a long, long time. They were, and it's the Europa League and we're only into the last 16. They were so good. Do. Push by an apple, shake a tree. Do. Push by an apple, shake coffee. To the left, to the right. I said I'd do it. We'll all do it together and again. But you've got to enjoy it. If you can't enjoy winning and you can't have a laugh, then what's the bloody point? What is the bloody point, eh? Rest in peace, John Motson. He gave us some of the best commentary in football. And, life's for living. Rest in peace, John Motson. I want to say that as well. But look, football, this is what it's all about. You don't know how long you've got. Enjoy these moments. Come on. Enjoy them. And I really do think it's a line in the sand. I said this today. I've said it on the channel a few times. It's not, we don't win anything for winning this, but in some ways it might be more significant than beating Newcastle on Sunday, if we beat Newcastle on Sunday, because Barcelona are a good side. Barcelona are one of the biggest clubs in the world. Barcelona are on the way back. Xavi's a good coach. They've got good players. They're top of La Liga. They'll be back in the Champions League next season. We've not really done anything significant for years. We've just beat Barcelona. We should have beat them in the new camp. We've just beat them at Old Trafford. Those players will feel more about that than the Carabao Cup on Sunday in some ways, because we've just beaten one of Europe's best sides. And that's what we've done. And there's a lot of people in the chat saying, I love this team. I think it was a Ten Hag masterclass. We'll get into that. But the thing I want to say, perseverance. This team, because of the manager, because a year ago they didn't have this, but this team is perseverance. And that's reflective on the manager. I think, it was so obvious for me when we do the player ratings that the man of the match today is either going to be Varane or Martinez. They were brilliant and they both deserve it, because I always say a centre-back's performance is based on a partnership. We've seen it over the years. Terry and Carvalho, Stam, Johnson, Bruce Pallister, Rio Vidic. This is what Varane and Ramos. It's always a partnership, and Martinez and Varane today were remarkable. I mean, I nearly want to cry. Varane clearing it off the line. Martinez some brilliant tackles as well. Varane reading the game, how aggressive they are, how they come out from the centre backs to attack from the midfield. They were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think they were superb. But you know what? What's more important is the perseverance from the people who didn't play the game well, because that reflects what United are. At half time, I said we'll win this game, and people were like, you're joking. You're absolutely joking. I said we'll win this game. We'll win this game. And I said when Anthony came on, he'll score, because it had that feeling that we were going to do it. Because if you know what this team is over the last few months, it's perseverance. You can be terrible, and he'll tweak it. We saw it against Leicester. Leicester were better than Barcelona in the first half on Sunday. It's no consolation to Leicester because they got smacked up, but Leicester were better than Barcelona in that first half on Sunday. We changed it at half time. We smashed them. Same thing happened today. I don't think Barcelona were much better than us. They got a penalty, but we were better than them in the second half. They did nothing really. And it's because of perseverance. It's because Ten Hag will change things. And what actually happens is, don't think Dan from Stoke is happy, says James. What a win. Martinez and Varane were remarkable, says Shane. Where are all you Fred haters now? All season they've been bashing nothing. No, I disagree with that, LA, and I don't really want to get into that, but I will come on to that. I haven't been this tense since I got constipated, says Michael T. This match felt like a final, bro. My heart was pounding. Brilliant. In some ways, I think that will be more tense and the new camp last week than Newcastle. I hope Newcastle's a big game, and I hope it's a tense game, but quite remarkable, says Dom. Ten Hag masterclass, got good to see us digging deep. And Nasha says Eric Ten Hag made a mistake with the starting lineup. I think he did, and we'll come back to that, but he realised it and fixed it. And that's the thing. I said this at the weekend about Ten Hag. Unlike Ollie, unlike Mourinho, unlike Van Gaal, he's not stupid and he's not stubborn. No, they're not stupid. I've got my word. I meant to say stubborn. But the perseverance thing is really important. Loads of people are putting comments in. I said at half time we'll come out in the second half, says Ivan. Licha Varin, Casemiro Bruno, Heart of Manchester, says Bradley. Mark, did you see during the scuffle Casemiro was miles away from that? That was the highlight of my night, says Jed. And I think I shed a tear when Sir Alex was celebrating Serge. Right, I've got to stop on the super chats, and I've got to just whack on to what I want to say because it's so important. Bruno, first half, not good. Fred, not good, first half. Wan-Bissaka, not good, first half. Sancho, not good, first half. Luke Shaw, not good, first half. Weghorst, not good, first half. Rashford, not good, first half. That's 7 players. De Gea probably wasn't that good. He made a big mistake. I think the only good players in the first half were Varane, Martinez, Casemiro. Second half, Shaw, good second half. Fred, brilliant second half. Bruno, much better second half. All right, Sancho had to come off. Weghorst went off. Wan-Bissaka was better second half. My point is, it's a rarity. It's a rarity, and it's an art form that Ten Hag has. When a player has a bad half, they normally have a bad game. But a Man United player can have a bad first half and have a brilliant second half. That is remarkable. And that shows you the power of the manager. Very, very often, consistently, if a player's having a bad first half, it doesn't normally get better in the second half. But Fred was a prime example of that. First half, he wasn't very good. Second half, he was brilliant. Bruno was the same. Bruno got absolutely annihilated by that left back in first half. Second half, much, much better. Same with Wan-Bissaka. Same with Luke Shaw. The perseverance of these players and the tactical nous of this manager is remarkable. And that's why we're doing this. I still cannot believe what we're doing. We're playing we're playing a game on average, every 3.5 days since Christmas. And it's still going to happen for another few weeks. And yet, we're still in the Europa League. We're third. We could be in a title race. We're in a final on Sunday. We're still in the FA Cup. We hardly lose. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They're going to play a cup final in 2.5 days. Like, literally, tomorrow, Saturday, and then Sunday lunchtime, Sunday afternoon, they're playing a bloody cup final. It's ridiculous what they're doing. But it's perseverance. It's a rarity. And I think Fred symbolises it. And Bruno symbolises it. And Luke Shaw symbolises it. Even if you have a bad first half, it doesn't define you. It's a 90-minute game. And I think that mentality is completely new to these players. These players will have a bad game and they're going to have a bad month last season. Now you have a bad 45 minutes and they'll go out and have a brilliant second half. It's testament to the players and it's testament to the manager. So I don't think it's about haters sitting down. We're all one fan base. And I don't really see a lot of negativity in the fan base. I think what we saw in the first half is, Sabitzer didn't even play. If you'd have said to me at half-time, Sabitzer won't even get a minute, I'd have gone, what the bloody hell are you talking about? But Sabitzer didn't come on. And it felt like he needed to, but he didn't have to come on. It feels so good to shut down all of them, says Rimbic. The only team they managed to beat this season is Victoria Pleasant. Mark, why don't you buy the rights to all United games? It would be so good not listen to the stupid commentary because I haven't got £1 billion. Glazers out. South American players always play their hearts out even if they lack performances. Abhishek. Weghorst is an honest player, but he's too slow. Slowed the players down. It didn't work, says Lou. And look, you know what? Can I be completely honest? Weghorst, we're out. If we don't take him off at half time, we're out. And that's not his fault, but he's not good enough at that level. He's a hard worker. He tries his best, but he's just not that level, is he? I think he's perfectly fine in certain games, but in that sort of a game, you take him off and we win the game. That's not Weghorst's fault. I don't think Weghorst would have been kicking his boots and throwing tables. I think he would have gone, hands up, I understand. I'm part of this team, make the change. Credit to Weghorst, he's here, he provides an option and we bloody needed him. But again, it just comes down to brilliant man management because he knows he's got that wrong. He knows it's not working. And many managers would go, I'm the boss. I've made that decision. I believe it's going to work. We've had managers like that. I think Mourinho's like that. I think Mourinho would go, I've made that decision. I stand by it. Even though it's not worked for 45 minutes, I'm going to stick with it. Ten Hag, no, it's not working. I can't snooze. I've got to make a change. And he does it. And that's why I say Ten Hag Masterclass, because great leadership is the ability to recognise a mistake and rectify it. What have we been saying for years? I said it under Van Gaal, I said it under Mourinho, and I said it under Ollie. We used to talk about it all the time. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. We used to use that all the time. I got bored of saying it over the years, but that's not what we have with this manager. He will change it. He will not be stubborn. If he's made a mistake, he will rectify it. And that's why he's a great manager. And that's why he's one of the greatest managers in the world at the moment, because he will change it. Today, at half-time, 1-0 down, changes it, we win the game. Leicester, at half-time, changes it, we go and smash them in the second half. Manchester City at Old Trafford changes it when we go 1-0 down. We go and win it. Arsenal at Old Trafford, he changes it when they equalise. We go and win it. There's so many examples. He will change it. He's not stubborn, and it's such an asset. Absolutely brilliant. What a team performance to top it off. One of the customers got me tickets for the final on Sunday. I'm buzzing, says Grant. Man United, but today shows how blessed we are to get a great manager in Ten Hag, says Ghostface. United ain't the best team in the league, but what Ten Hag is doing is unbelievable, says Gaz. Fidget spinners are now banned in Barcelona, says Muyad. And Frankie rejected us to play the Champions League. Look, sacking, I think we saw why I would take Frankie de Jong. I actually thought he was Barcelona's best player. I know we can all say, you're out, and there is some justification in that, and it always feels nice. But for me, I don't know what you think, but for me, I thought Frankie de Jong was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely their best player, especially in the first half. I'd love him in our midfield next to Casemiro, because the thing about Frankie de Jong that I love today, he's bloody mobile. He's quick. He's really quick. I'd never really noticed that about his game before, because we've never seen him in the Premier League, but I thought he was great. I thought he was really good. I'd take him at Man United. Maybe he won't come. Maybe he will. But, Barcelona played their part. It wasn't a walk in the park. Both games were tight. I think Barcelona are heading in the right direction. I refute levers or anything like that bollocks. And the better team won it over 2 games. We should have won in the Nou Camp. We should have won here tonight. They had 2 big decisions go for them. There should have been a red card in the Nou Camp, and it shouldn't have been a penalty. And we still won. So I think we're ahead of Barcelona at this moment in time. As for injuries, look, Dembele's a fantastic player, so's Pedri, so's Gavi, but Eriksen has been a fundamental part of our team, and we've had to play Weghorst in both games because Martial's injured. I mean, it swings and roundabouts. Barcelona will say, it's not the same. Eriksen's been massive for us, and Martial, we've not really got a striker. I mean, Rashford didn't do much up front today, and Weghorst didn't either. So, we can all talk about that. At the end of the day, we deserve to win. Have you noticed every time that Bruno is right midfield, Fred plays bad? Yes, I did, Daniel. That's a great observation. Imagine this team with a real baller up front to interchange with. Exactly, Kevin. I agree with you, Mark. My whole message said, hope he recognises and joins us in the summer. Exactly, Sakin. I think he's a good player. He's a good player. I hope Ten Hag stays at United for the next 50 years, says Victor. He's such a good manager, isn't he? Time for you to come to Malahide Beach, Mark, says Paul. I'll get a flight now. Ten Hag is building something special, says Causa. This feels like Champions League night from the 2000s. I can't wait for the fan forum, because they're in the studio, so I think there's so much to talk about tonight, and I'm bound to miss some things. We're going to do player ratings in a minute, but look, I want to come on to something else as well. I've just seen his goal there, Anthony. I know I predicted it. I mean, what's that? He scores a winner. I predicted it. He doesn't score the winner. I got it wrong. But I'm so pleased for Anthony, because it's a little bit like Garnacho, but it's different. I like Anthony. I said in the summer that this is the player I was most excited about because he's a flair player. He's not hit what he can do, but he's been written off. I mean, look, I was looking at this the other day. He's been described by some ex-players as an embarrassment and a bluffer. He's been he's a YouTube footballer. He's not good enough. He's been here 5 months. 5 months. And, as I said, people like Grealish, Sancho, they've been here. They've been 18 months at Man City and Man United. They don't get any shit. But Anthony, been here for 5 months. Been injured for a bit of that. We've had a World Cup in there as well. He didn't pay. He's way overpriced. That's not his fault. He's a £50 million player. And yet, I don't really feel it's United fans. A little bit United fans, to be fair, but not massively. But he's been written off before he's even got going. The media have been on at him. Certain ex-players have been on at him. All because he did a little bit of a spin. He's just scored the winning goal to knock Barcelona out. How many people do that in their first season at Manchester United? I'm overjoyed for him. I'm overjoyed for Anthony. I want him to do well. Overall, his performance was a bit in and out when he came on, but he scored the winning goal. And this is the thing. You look at his stats, he scores goals. He does score goals. And I just want him to stay fit now and settle into the team more, because we're a much better team with him in it. He provides balance. People don't realise that with Anthony in the team, they just see him dribble and lose the ball and go, oh, he's fucking shit. Actually, and Ricky would testify this, balance in a team is really important. He's the only left-footed winger we've got, and it provides balance. And the defence of Barcelona realised that. He kept getting in the first 10 minutes. He was causing problems, and he's ended up scoring the winner. I'm so pleased for him. And again, I've got to say it. You know what? We had this in the summer. Manchester United signed Martinez, and people who'd never watched him before, not even done a quick check on his stats, said he's going to get exposed in the Premier League. He's too small. I wouldn't want to play with him. He's too small. He's going to get exposed. We are now in March, basically, and he's not been exposed once. And there are people out... it makes me laugh, because they're still waiting for the one time when Martinez gets beat in the air and a goal goes in, which will happen to any centre-back. It's happened to Maguire. Maguire against João Felix in the Champions League last year. You will get beat in the air. It will happen. And they're waiting for the one time for it to happen with Martinez to go, I told you. But it still hasn't happened. It happened again today. Cross to the back post. Lewandowski, one of the best strikers in the world, up against Martinez. He towers over him and Martinez wins the header. Do your bloody homework. Anthony, Martinez. It's just a foreign player comes into Man United and it's like, right, the knives are out. Let's go in on them before they've even bloody kicked a ball. Give them a bloody chance. Give them a chance. Same with Garnacho. Give them a chance. Let's get behind them because this team is doing really well. Media can ruin confidence, says Demon. First time Barca has been knocked out before the last 16 in Europe since 1985, says Mark. Eric Ten Hag, man of the match, says Jay. Mark pulls out a new Casemiro sweater with the Brazil crest and our Brazilians wins the game. I tell you what, Goldbridge hot takes. It's a thing. I'm telling you, it's a hot takes. I said we'd win at half time. I've been wearing this all stream and I said Anthony would score. So, I'm not going to predict anything else. Goldbridge will go to bed and Mrs. No, that's not fair. But you know what? It's a great feeling. I'm loving it. But you know what? Actually, as much as I've loved it, I think the mentality of the fans and Ten Hag is now, as much as what's his face is off down Malahide Beach for a few beers, enjoy your night, mate. But actually, we've got a final on Sunday. Actually, we've got Liverpool a week on Sunday. We've got the FA Cup on Wednesday. We've got the draw tomorrow. That win only puts us into the... I saw something on Twitter say it, they're right. That win only puts us into the last 16. I don't care about that. Maybe we get knocked out in the next round by Arsenal or whoever. I don't care. That Barcelona result is like 84. We didn't win that tournament when we knocked them out in 84, but it was a lot. It got remembered, and I think going to the new camp and not losing and deserving to win, and then knocking them out at Old Trafford. That's a good Barcelona side. They are top of La Liga. They've got some fantastic players. I think Lewandowski is the best finisher in the game. And we built that performance on a strong defence. And let's not forget, David De Gea makes a world-class save from Koundé as well. They did have one chance that was big, but it is symbolic to go and beat them. Mark, we have Eric Ten Hag. Please, can we just say a prayer tonight and thank the heavens that we have such a beautiful, bold genius, says Sean Thornton. The defence deserved the clean sheet. Refs against us and we still win, says Aziz. I'm so glad we're not talking about the referee. David Conway, welcome to the Members Club. Eric Ten Hag is the king of substitution, says Lenny. I'm so pleased that we're not talking about Eric Ten Hag, about the referee. It wasn't a penalty. It should have been a red card in the new camp. But look, we still won. And I think we won because despite those things, they didn't matter. We were the better side over two legs. And that's what happened. And you know what? They can talk about Pedri and they can talk about Gabby, but they both played in the new camp and we should have won that game as well. I think the new camp was a better game. I think today was a lot more tense and a lot tight. I think it was a bit more defensive. Bruno punting the ball at Frankie. I mean, that was a yellow card. It had everything in it, Liam, and it was absolutely fantastic. Apparently, Maguire's face wasn't that happy, says Lils. I mean, I'm sure Maguire will be lifting up a trophy on Sunday afternoon. If you look at his Wikipedia page, he's won nothing. He's got a great chance to have a winner's medal on Sunday, and he'll be lifting that trophy. So I don't believe that about Harry Maguire. But I mean, look, realistically, I feel I have to say this, and I don't really want to. Weghorst didn't work, and Sancho didn't work, and he changed it, and it worked. On Sancho, no issues. I think he's still a cameo footballer. I think he comes on for 20 minutes in an open game and he plays well. I think at the moment he's not capable of playing, 90 minutes. Certainly not. His fitness levels aren't there. And I still think he doesn't do the defensive work that well. But we've got to be patient with Jadon. And it's great to have him back. And the positive with Jadon is that Leicester at the weekend, tonight he starts, and you don't have to start a kid. You don't have to start Garnacho or Elanga. So having Sancho part of it's great, and it's the same with Weghorst. Didn't play particularly well, but it allowed us to get to half time and then change it up. If you don't have Weghorst and you don't have Sancho, you can't change it up. So everybody's a valuable member. And who's to say on Sunday that the cross doesn't come into the back post and Weghorst does an overhead kick and wins it? I feel that you don't write players off in this team. I think that's a big message. You don't write players off in this United side. People did it with Garnacho, and ridiculous. He'll go and score a goal. Anthony scores a goal. Wan-Bissaka got written off, comes in and benches Delo. I almost felt McTominay would come on and skip past 5 players and put it in the top corner. Fred gets written off and scores a goal. Like Sancho will keep getting better. I'm sure Weghorst is going to score a big goal for us. I really do wish we could get Martial back. I'm not banking on it, but I really do, because I think Rashford today didn't. I mean, look, it'd be interesting to see what the player ratings are for Rashford. Did Rashford have a good game today? You take the goals away, and it wasn't he's a bit greedy. He's always a threat, but I feel that Barcelona targeted Rashford to keep him quiet because he scores goals, and that's why it's so important that Fred and Anthony chip in with goals, because they clearly targeted Rashford to keep him quiet, and they did, but we still won. Mark, if you add Osimhen and De Jong to this team, it can really go places. This is why we need new ownership, And I hope that results like this don't make the Glazers think they want to stay. Lee Wild, welcome to Members Club. Defence won the match tonight, kept us in it first half when we could have crumbled, says Ross. Bold is best, says Matthias. And Arahu was very good for them. He's a good player, Nasher. I can't pronounce his name, but he is fantastic. James Holland has just gifted 5 memberships, by the way. We're going to do player ratings now, but please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. Let me just get that done. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. We are currently on. We're on the road to 600k. That's why I'm asking. We're on 597. So please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Welcome to the Members Club, Jer and Mark. We did it. This game is symbolic in so many ways, says Sebastian. We've waited too long for this. Eric Ten Hag has done so much in so little time. We're finally on the up. You know what? I'm running out of superlatives, but the contrast between this time last year and now is remarkable. And it's so much down to Ten Hag and these coaches and the players. It's been ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And they deserve all the credit. And I've always said this. These United players who got really sensitive last year. I mean, I got blocked by a couple of them. You were shit. You were shit last year. People who were saying, let's sell Rashford. Bruno shouldn't have got a new contract. McFred should be kicked out and play in the League One, whatever. Oh, that wasn't wrong. You were shite. And you deserved it. Our away fans, best in the world for me, they were singing to those players, you're not fit to wear the shirt. You get people coming out from a coma going, cropping up people's tweets from a year ago going, oh, look at this, what they said about that. Look at what they said about that. I never said it. Well, where were you? In a bloody coma? Like, our away fans were singing, you're not fit to wear the shirt to the players. So don't come at us with clipped up, out of context tweets from a year ago. They were fucking shite a year ago. And they deserved every bit of criticism they got. It's tiring seeing these knobheads take your tweets from a year ago and going, oh, you look a right idiot now. No. Away fans were singing you're not fit to wear the shirt. They were shit. They were absolutely shit. And they deserved every bit of criticism they got. But, what did we say at the time? If you play well in the shirt, you will get the praise. They are playing consistently well and they are getting consistent praise. It ain't rocket science. This is an entertainment business. It's like a good comedian and a bad comedian. No one will watch the bad comedian. Thousands will go and watch a good comedian on tour. It's entertainment. These players needed to realise, buy yourself a load of mirrors, look in the mirror, stop blaming everybody else and look at yourself. And I think that's what Ten Hag has done. And that is why they're now getting the praise. And they couldn't figure it out. For years, these players couldn't figure it out. They thought, I'm a Man United player. Everyone's being horrible to me. I'm a United player. I've made it. Why are you being horrible to me? Because you were shit. And now you're good. And now you're getting praised. It's one of the simplest lessons in life. If you're getting criticism, work harder. Show people what you've got. And that's what Ten Hag has basically done. Welcome to the Members Club, Andy Cheetham. Let's take a moment to appreciate Raphael Varane. Oh, mate. Again, Goldbridge hot take. I've been saying this for weeks. He's the best centre-back in the league. What? It's a bad take, apparently. It's a bloody good take. He's brilliant. In both legs. Remember, Martinez didn't play in the new camp. Varane was brilliant in both. Camel says, I'm a Madridista, and I'm happy for United's uprise. Kicking out Barca was an additional prize. By the way, the commentary here in India was absolutely rubbish. They were kissing Barca's backside. Nash has just gifted 20 memberships. Jer's a new member as well. Right, let's do the player ratings. I know a lot of people have been waiting for these, so let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready. Let's get ready to rumble. Okay, we're good. We're looking good on these. Okay, David De Gea for me, 6.5. Oh, 7.2. I like it. I'm liking this. I'm liking when I'm low. I'm loving it. You know what? He made a world-class save from Koundé. I think De Gea made a bad mistake. I would have gone in on him for that. Like, I would have done. And he would have gone in on himself. I mean, he just... Alisson did it in midweek. Courtois did it in midweek. And David De Gea had one of those moments. It wasn't as bad, but it could have been. He completely messed up a pass, and it could have been bad. It could have been 2-0 to Barca. But people make mistakes, and he made a brilliant save from Koundé. So I'm more than happy with you giving him 7.2. Wan-Bissaka, probably a 6.5 for me. I thought first half wasn't that good. Second half got a lot better. He had a hard job, you know. That left back for Barca was very, very good. Only second to De Jong for me. I thought he was really, really good. But obviously, Wan-Bissaka showed that perseverance and got better in the second half. Varane, for me, I mean, it's hard to find where he put a foot wrong, and therefore it's hard to project what to give him. I'm tempted to give him a 9, and people will say why, and I'll say, but the thing is, if a striker scores a hat trick, they get 9. That's what happens. If someone like Varane has a game like that, he's done nothing wrong. There was one point in the second half where he ran out from the back, won the ball, and put Antony in, and then followed it up. And I noticed Martinez and Varane are doing that against one of the better teams in Europe. They're coming out of the defence to be a midfielder. It's so intelligent what we do. So for me, I would have given him a 9. I really would. I thought he was brilliant, and I'm actually going to give him man of the match. I'm going to do a bit of a spoiler there. Martinez 8.5. I just give it Varane because he did it in the new camp as well. But I mean, if you've gone with Martinez man of the match, I don't care. He's a tiger. He's a butcher. He is an absolute shithouse, and he's our shithouse, and he's also a brilliant footballer. And him in that team. I think Luke Shaw does a very good job understudying Martinez. But Martinez is just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I don't know whether I've ever said it publicly, but my confidence going into games at the moment is the fact that we've got Varane, Martinez and Casemiro. And Luke Shaw, if he plays there. I'm not exclusive about that. But my confidence in games is those three. You just look at those three. I mean, last season you got McFred, Maguire and Lindelof. And with all due respect, you're like, okay, now this could go really bad. And they did sometimes get clean sheets, to be fair. But Varane, Martinez and Casemiro, they just give me confidence in these games. Because I go, but they are three of the best players in Europe in those positions. And they're playing very central. So, and they almost back each other up. They play as a three as well. Casemiro drops into the defence. One of them comes out. So this is where my confidence comes from. Luke Shaw, probably 6.5 for me. Didn't think he played particularly well first half, but second half he recovered and was a lot better. Casemiro, probably a 7.5 for me. I mean, by his own standard, if he wasn't Casemiro, I'd probably give him a 10. A 7.5 for Casemiro. He never has a bloody bad game. Like, he's just so consistent. So give him what you like. Give him what you like. He's just a bloody brilliant player. And as I just said about Martinez and Varane, it just gives you that platform. Fred, I give him a 7. I thought first half I'd probably give him a 5, and second half I'd probably give him an 8. So I'll give him a 7. Fred is just. I mean, look, I know how to describe Fred, and I don't know how many people would agree with me on this. With Fred, and I'm not even going to say game to game, half to half, you never know whether he's going to be world class, average, or shit. But it's not game to game anymore. He can be world class first half and shit second half. He can be world class first half and average second half. He can be average first half and shit second half. He's just one of those players where you never know what he's going to do. But he's so important to the team, and his energy he's like Weghorst actually, but he's better than Weghorst because he can mix it up at this level. But him and Weghorst, their engines are ridiculous, and whatever performance, whether it's crap, brilliant, world class, average, you always know they're not going to stop running. And he getting that goal, Fredendowski, brilliant. Sancho probably a 6 for me today. There's a couple of good passes, but I don't think he worked as a number 10 against that opposition. I think as a number 10, we've seen it twice. You bring him on in the last 20 minutes when it's stretched and we're attacking, very, very good number 10. You play him as a number 10 against a team that's got people like Frankie de Jong in it, and he hasn't got the physicality for it. And ultimately as well, he still needs to work on his defensive work as a winger. So how's he going to do it as a 10, where you need to be way more defensive? Because that chance from Koundé was him losing his man. So I think for Sancho, patience, brilliant player. I think I think Ten Hag will get the best out of him. But, today it was a bit, average, wasn't it? Bruno, probably 7 for me for Bruno. And look, can I just say, Bruno Fernandes, how is he doing this? As a captain, his win ratio is unbelievable. And also, his minutes on the pitch are unbelievable. And he's not a pervert, he's a perseverance player. I think he was having a shit half in the first half. Let's be honest, that left back was destroying him. There was a point where Sancho actually played a good pass to Bruno. And if he's a winger, he's going to win the race. But De Jong just devoured him. And I thought, it's just not working. He's not tracking back. He'd given the penalty away, although it shouldn't have been a penalty. The left back was getting the best of him. He'd missed that chance right at the start of the game. I thought, you know what, he's not having a good half. But he's the captain. He's got to be on the pitch, he's the captain. And then second half, moves inside, perseverance, has a good half. And that's what... He reflects the team. The captain reflects the team. Roy Keane reflected the team. John Terry reflected Chelsea. Gerrard reflected Liverpool. Bruno reflects this team to a T. Bruno is a player that we know can be amazing, and we also know he can be off. But that reflects this team, because even when Bruno's off, he'll do something. And this team, even when they're off, they'll find a way. And even if they're off, they'll find a way to be on. You can see the Bruno in this team. He reflects the team. Marcus Rashford, probably a 6 for me tonight. Never stopped. The work rate's there. It wasn't a Rashford performance where you'd say, he was checking out or anything like that. Constant work, constant trying. Things just didn't drop for him tonight. He didn't get the goal, but he had a couple of shots. There was a couple of times where him and Anthony could have fed a better pass, but that's not what they're thinking of doing. Rashford's in the form of his life. He wants to shoot. He wants to score. I gave Varane a 9, and man of the match says Tom Parsons. And Syed, thank you very much for your super sticker there. And Nashel, you've done that as well. Rashford. But is that not a good thing? The fact that Rashford had an average game and didn't score. In a way, I'm pretty pleased because we still won. Some people are saying take Rashford's goals away and United are shit. It's not true. Weghorst, probably a 5.5, to be honest. Apart from the work rates, it just didn't work. That can happen. I like Weghorst. I like the fact that he gives us options. I like the fact that he's really liked and appreciated in the fan base and in the club. But it didn't work, and sometimes it won't work, and I think it didn't work today. Anthony, 7 for me, just over the moon for him, over the moon, fantastic goal. Look, he's faced some ridiculous critics, and I don't like that. Again, it's the whole foreign passport thing, isn't it? It's the price tag. He doesn't get afforded any patience, and I think that's bang out of order, if I'm honest with you. But he's just scored a goal in a cup final, not in a cup final, in the equivalent of a cup final in many ways, because it's such a big game. They're the two biggest games of our season by a long way, and he's provided us with the result. So I'm over the joy. I'm over the moon for him. Fantastic performance from Anthony, and I'd like to say I hope he kicks on, because there's loads more he can improve on his game. But if he keeps popping up with goals, Delo, probably give him a 6.5. Came on and did a good job. Same with Sancho for me. Garnacho, 6.5. Perfect substitutions really. Garnacho came in and gave us some energy off that left-hand side, and Delo came in and gave us some, speed and fitness and focus down that right-hand side as well. I think there were clever substitutions, and that's what substitutions should be as well. It doesn't mean Wan-Bissaka and Sancho were dreadful. It's just about freshening it up and basically stopping Koundé getting forward and stopping Bolde getting forward. That's what those 2 subs were about. McTominay was a cameo, 6. And this guy, 9. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely a 9. I mean, he keeps doing it. It's not a joke. It's not luck. It's not by accident. He is a brilliant, brilliant manager. And I think I speak to a lot of fans. I do the Talk Sports show. Speak to a lot of people during the week. Lots of fans from lots of different clubs. And the thing is, I don't think Ten Hag's disliked. I think he's a bit like Klopp. You know, I respect Klopp, even though he's the manager of our biggest rival. And I think Ten Hag's got that same thing. Our rivals don't want to like him because they want us to lose. But even our rivals are like, he's a bloody good manager, you know. And that is to his credit. He is an absolute... And this is what's been missing from United. We didn't have a coach. We had managers. And now we've got a coach. And the difference between a manager and a coach is that a coach will look at a game and go, I'm going to change this. And somebody said it in the watch along. They're absolutely spot on. They said that Ten Hag has made every sub that we've been talking about. You know, at half time, it had to be Weghorst off and it had to be Anthony on. People were talking about Sabitzer for Fred, but I mean, I remember saying that at the start of the second half. I wouldn't do that at half time. You can't make 2 changes at half time. I'd give it another 15 minutes for Fred. But the Weghorst one has to happen at half time, and he does it. Delo for Wan-Bissaka. A lot of people were saying that needed to happen, and it did. Garnacho for Sancho had to happen, and it did. So many managers of United since Sir Alex Ferguson have bemused and frustrated this fan base with odd selections and odd nepotism and stubbornness. And in Ten Hag, not only have we got a great manager, we've also got a manager that really is in tune with the fan base. A lot of his subs and a lot of his selections are what a lot of us would do. Not all the way, not all the time. Like some people thought Sabitzer should have started over Fred today, but you could see why he picked Fred. So he's a great manager, and I'm excited to see what this season's going to be. There's so many games. You know what? In the Europa League, we've still got 7 games. Last 16, 2. Last 8, 2. Last 4, 2. And the final, 7. 7 games to win the Europa League. And we're in a title race, apparently. And we're still in the FA Cup. It's unbelievable. In many ways, getting knocked out the Europa League would probably help any chance of winning the title. But he doesn't want to do it. He just wants to go game to game to game. And at the moment, you can't knock him for that. Man of the match is Ten Hag with 33% of the vote. Well, I ain't got a problem with that. Funnily enough, it was very close between Martinez and Varane. So Varane got 20% and Martinez got 19%. And then we've got Casemiro coming up with 4th. So I got a problem with that. Got no problem with that at all. It looks good. It looks good, doesn't it? He's been absolutely brilliant. So big shout out to him. Wow, 80,000 people been watching a match reaction. Wow, thank you very much. If we have got any Barcelona fans, in all seriousness, you can't have a great 2-leg tie without 2 great teams. And I just think we're slightly better than you at the moment. I hope we see you again in the Champions League because we should both be there. And you know, I thoroughly enjoyed the 2 of the most enjoyable games I've had as a United fan in a few years' time. And we don't even get a trophy. And we're not even into the final. It was just a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you. And big up to United. We're going to be going over to the fan forum. So continue the chat. They're in the studio having a chat. So loads to talk about. Thanks everyone for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in on the fan forum. Let's get over there. Ten Hag man of the match. I'll speak to you in a bit. And it's the draw tomorrow, of course.